Here on the Rural Radio Network, I'm Bryce Duskip. It is time for our weekly weather discussion with Nebraska Extension's Eric Hunt. We preview what's going to be happening in the world of weather here over the next 5 to 7 days. Eric, it looks like we might have a chance for some scattered showers across portions of the listening area. What are you tracking here over the next 24 hours?
Yeah, definitely chance of showers over the next, say, 36 to 48 hours across the state. Probably a better chance late this afternoon and this evening across the Panhandle and portions of west central Nebraska. And that should be spreading north and northeast through other portions of the state through tomorrow. I don't think anybody's looking at getting a tremendous amount of precipitation from this, but certainly I think everybody has a chance to pick up between a tenth and a quarter of an inch. Some places may pick up more than half an inch. We are getting a little bit of residual moisture from remnants of a tropical storm in the Pacific, so that may help boost rainfall totals a little bit. Certainly they're beginning a lot of rain across portions of the southwest this week. So some of that moisture is streaming up here. And we are going to probably remain a little on the cloudy side at times the next few days. Certainly tomorrow, I think we should have cloud cover over most of the state. Temperatures should be held down a little bit. It is definitely going to be cooler today in central and eastern Nebraska than it was yesterday when we were generally into the 80s, some cases well into the 80s.
Beautiful weekend that it was, and it is that time of the year, Eric, where the mornings are just a little cooler than I'm at that time of the year where I don't know whether to bring a jacket or not.
Yeah, we're at that time of year. You can have some pretty big ranges between the morning and the afternoon, and your wardrobe may need to be different in the afternoon and the morning. Currently, temperatures across the state are mostly in the low 50s across southeast Nebraska, and then 40s most of northeastern central Nebraska, then some temperatures in the 30s and upper 20s across portions of the Panhandle. So we did see some sub-freezing temperatures in portions of the Panhandle overnight. Generally speaking, though, the rest of the week, we should be around average, probably more above average than below average. I think we'll probably be a little cool tomorrow. Warm-ups Wednesday. Thursday looks about average or somewhat above for most of us. I think we are going to see another front sneak through the state later in the week, so that should bring temperatures down a little bit, particularly in the western portion of the state by the end of the week. I think the further east you are in the state this week, the closer or the more likely you are to be above long-term averages. And we will see another chance of precipitation later in the week. Thursday into Friday looks reasonably probable for precipitation across the northern, western section of the state. Then maybe as we get toward Friday night into the eastern portion of the state. So, again, there's going to be chances for everybody to get some moisture this week, but I don't think it's going to be a complete washout for anybody. I would anticipate there still being reasonable conditions to get some field work done this week. Not looking at any major fire danger risk this week, which is good. Some of that's just because we've had a lot more moisture this fall than, by and large what we've had in several years. But also not necessarily seeing the, really low relative humidity with high wind speeds. That combination just hasn't been there a whole lot this fall, and that's just fine with me.
Mm-hmm. Well, by all accounts, another week of a lot of harvest progress made across the region. We wrap up. What are your final thoughts this week?
Yeah, I think as we head into next week, it looked, late last week like we were going to maybe see a more significant cool down for a few days next week before warming back up. I think we're going to cool off really this next week, but it still doesn't look like anything that truly significant. Now, it's possible that, we may still get that trough to come into the north central U.S. and deliver that, first real kind of sweatshirt type weather for a lot of us. Not necessarily seeing that at the moment. We may still sneak down into the 30s for more of the state than what we've seen so far this fall. But, I think in general, we're going to see, precipitation chances probably continue periodically for the next couple of weeks.
Eric Hunt with Nebraska Extension, our guest today, as always, here on Mondays on the Rural Radio Network as we preview weather over the next week. On the Rural Radio Network, I'm Bryce Duskett reporting.